I'd go every day at 7, attend prayer for 45 minutes, leave the car parked at the church because it was a good, safe parking spot. And then I'd walk around the town and I'd be praying and say, Lord, give me an idea. What can I do in this town?
Today, we have someone who I heard a little bit of their story, but we're going to unpack it today. Natalie Turner is someone who's a powerhouse in Bulawayo. I'm going to say powerhouse. Is that okay to say?
Thank you for that.
Would you consider yourself a powerhouse?
Yes, thank you for giving me that title. I'll accept it.
Powerhouse, Natalie Turner. And thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for inviting me.
I'm excited to uncover just more about your story. Let me ask you, what is your story about you being in Bulawayo today? Like, why are you here?
Okay, so let me backtrack a little bit. My family and I lived in Victoria Falls.
Okay.
I moved to Vic Falls in 1990. And then we...
From where?
From Bulawayo.
Okay.
So God told me to go to Victoria Falls. My grandmother had been doing some work there, and then one day God said, go to Victoria Falls. And I told my husband, I said, we need to go to Vic Falls. And he was an obedient husband. And he got a job in Vic Falls, and we relocated to Vic Falls, and I got a very good job and everything else in Vic Falls. But unfortunately, the company we were working for closed, but I was doing my own business. I opened a business up in Wange. That already was, God told me to go to Wange, very specifically told me to go to Wange and open up a shop there. And
what kind of shop, if you don't mind?
it was a butchery, retail butchery. Okay. So we went and we got that. They were very fortunate to get it because it's very hard to get shops in Wange, but we got it. And then the company I was working for closed, and so we carried on trading with our business and everything else. And we're doing business in Vic Falls with the Zambians. You know, the Zambians cross over to Vic Falls to buy product, and they also bring product for people in Zimbabwe. So one day I was driving around, I had been to the hardware, and I saw the Zambians' bicycles parked at Game. So I stopped my car to go and see what exactly are these guys doing at Game, because when you see Zambians, you must know there's money. So I parked my car, jumped out, went inside, asked the security guard, what are these guys doing here? And they said, oh, Mama, these guys are buying mealie meal. So I said, mealie meal going from Zimbabwe to Zambia? Ordinarily, it must be the other way around. But at this time, Zambia had a drought. So we were sending mealie meal to Zambia. Anyway, I went home, I told my husband about it. The next day I went and I found a shop. And I was fortunate to also get that shop. And now I needed to find stock. So I was now competing with my customer because I wanted to supply the Zambians. So the major supplier of mealie meal in Zimbabwe is National Foods. And National Foods retail outlet is Gain. So I had to go to Gain and convince them to give me the mealie meal instead of the Zambians. And yeah, that worked for a while. Eventually, I had to jump in my car and come to Bulawayo and talk to the sales department in Bulawayo and convince him to give me truckloads of mealie meal so that I could supply the Zambians. So now, the only way I managed to get this deal done was by paying in advance. So that's how it started. So we had a big shop, a good thriving business and everything else. And then...
Did you set up in Bulawayo? Or
not
you were
yet.
still in Vic Falls?
I was still in Vic Falls. I had an outlet in Wange, and then I opened another shop in Victoria Falls to supply the Zambians. And then what happened is COVID came. And because of COVID, Vic Falls was the first city town to be hit with COVID. So our borders closed immediately, meaning that I didn't have the customer base anymore. The Zambians weren't coming through anymore. But we carried on trading in the shop because we had stock of other product. And then schools opened, and then my daughter had to come back to school. She was going to GC. And I said to my husband, look, we need to take her back. And this business is closed. Wange is not doing so good anymore because there was no trucks coming through, so there was no money moving in Wange. So I said to my husband, let's go to Bulawayo and see what happens. We have to take the children back to school. My son was going to boarding and my daughter was a day scholar. So it reminded me of the story in the Bible where the lepers said, if we stay here, we'll die. Let's go see what's there. So that was the story that inspired me. So anyway, he agreed. We locked the doors, closed the windows, put the dogs in the car, and we came to Bulawayo. Put my daughter back in school. My son went back to boarding school. And Every
So
morning.
tell me why exactly you moved. COVID happened,
Yes.
but what was that final decision point where you're like, we're leaving the wonder of the world, we're leaving a city that we poured into to now move to Bulawayo?
There was nothing happening. There was no trade. There was no tourists coming in. The borders were still closed. There was no product coming, and my daughter needed to come back to school. So we had to make sure that she came back to school because she is our future.
Sure.
And she was writing her O-levels. So we came back to Bulawayo, and long story cut short, we put them both back in school. And every morning I would get up and go for domain prayers. We have domain prayers at Celebration Church Metro every morning at 7. So I'd go every day at 7, attend prayer for 45 minutes, leave the car parked at the church because there's a good safe parking spot, and then I'd walk around the town and I'd be praying and say, Lord, give me an idea. What can I do in this town? And I'd always go to the market and I'd see lots of people trading. And then one day I went into this shop and I saw this Indian man, and I said to him, I'm looking for something to do. And we just started chatting. And then a friend of mine from Vic Falls, he owns the 7-Eleven, the convenience store. And he phoned and he said, Natalie, I'm looking for garlic. Can you find me garlic in Bulawayo? And I said, okay. So I went back to that Indian man and I said, I'm looking for garlic. And then he said, okay, get hold of this girl. So I got hold of this girl and she had garlic. During my time of looking for garlic to supply my friend in Vic Falls, I notified my friend at Smokehouse that, I'm supplying garlic to Vic Falls. And she said, okay, that's fine. You can supply Smokehouse with garlic. So I was giving Smokehouse 2 kg, 3 kg of garlic a week. And whilst I was looking for garlic still, I wanted to be the producer of the garlic. I met lots of farmers in Bulawayo. Then my friend in Vic Falls said, Natalie, I need mushrooms. There's no mushrooms in Vic Falls. So I looked for mushrooms and I found mushrooms. Then I told my friend, I'm supplying garlic and mushrooms. Then she said, that's fine. Can you also supply us mushrooms? So we started supplying her Smokehouse with garlic and mushrooms. Then she said, Natalie, we're getting chips from Harare. And it's not working out because sometimes the Harare guys finish all the chips, the frozen chips. And then there's nothing for Bulawayo. Can you source us chips? I said, no problem. And I sourced them chips and I found them chips. So that's how we are now here in Bulawayo. And we haven't gone back home. And we've rented out our properties in Victoria Falls. And I look 10 years younger because the skin is, the weather is good in Bulawayo, whereas the Vic Falls skin ages you. So
too hot?
Exactly, it's too hot and you can't exactly do business in your car. Yeah. So I'm now loving Bulawayo. The people are good, the weather is good. So I'm just now loving Bulawayo. Yeah.
So your Bulawayo story of success started with COVID?
Yes.
And then garlic?
Yes.
And then mushrooms?
Yes.
And then a rejuvenated youth about you being here with the weather of Bulawayo.
Yes.
I mean, that sounds like a really good selling point. Did your husband and daughter feel the same way?
My daughter, at first they didn't really like Bulawayo because when you live in Vic Falls, it's very small and very isolated and relationships are very personal and stuff. But now my daughter loves Bulawayo. She's got friends and there's lots of places to go to and it's affordable. And my husband now has also found friends and clubs to join that he can afford and he can interact with people that are on the same level as him.
Yeah.
So we are loving Bulawayo.
So when you think about all the negative publicity of Bulawayo, when you hear about just the stuff that may be failing in Bulawayo, how do you filter that? How do you view some of the problems and challenges in Bulawayo in context of what you've experienced with this success and this hope following Jesus?
I hope I'll be able to answer your question correctly. I think what I've seen with Bulawayo is you just have to keep persevering and you just have to be consistent. Bulawayo people, their hope is a little bit low, so you just have to keep showing up and shining.
Why do you think their hope is low?
I think because of the history in Bulawayo. Bulawayo's got a long history of negative things happening to them, dating way back. But I think The younger generation now are more positive for Bulawayo. I think our older parents also influence the way we think and we view Bulawayo, but I think now the younger generation, like my daughter's in Cape Town, she's doing international development, and she said, Mom, when I come home, I'm coming to Bulawayo. My son's going to Germany, and he said, Mom, when I finish in Germany, I'm coming back home. So the younger generation are a bit better than my parents and my grandparents.
And these aren't decisions you've made for them. They're making it for themselves. They're saying, I'm in Germany, I'm coming home.
Yeah.
I'm in Cape Town, and I'm coming home.
Yes.
And do you think there's more of that happening just outside of your family too?
Yes, there is. And also I'm seeing, like with my own generation, I'm seeing that more people, because in Vic Falls I've got an Airbnb, and I'm seeing more people coming and living with and staying with us, and they're coming home to make plans. They're coming home to make plans to return,
So not just to be here, but actually to build something.
Exactly.
When a lot of people talk to me about the kindness of Bulawayo people, like they're very kind, and they'll say, if someone says something, they mean it. Where have you seen some almost unexpected kindness or unexpected compassion? Maybe things that people don't know about or don't hear that surprised you about Bulawayo?
But like I said, when I was looking for garlic, I would just go to the market and say, I'm looking for garlic. And they'd say, phone this guy. And I'll just message him. And he'd say, okay, come to my house tomorrow at 8. Then you message somebody else, I'm looking for mushrooms. Okay, come to my place at this time. Bulawayo people are very free and willing to give information to better the next person. They're not selfish with information. I am where I am today in business because of Bulawayo people guiding me and showing me different channels to say, okay, go to this person, talk to this person, try this. So yes, they've been very kind with their knowledge and their information to help me grow. Yeah.
Not every city is like that. I've traveled around the world.
Okay. I'll just say, okay.
Not every city is like
maybe you don't have my charm.
But do you find that everywhere you go?
Yes. I kind of like have favor wherever I go. Yeah, I have favor.
And because you live that, what would you say to maybe a young generation that doesn't feel like they have that favor? A young generation that feels like, man, we feel like it's just failure after failure, bad news after bad news. If there was young people sitting in this room, what would you tell them?
I would tell them, when you're going to ask somebody for help, tell them what you want. Tell them what you're trying to achieve. Because somebody always thinks you're trying to be a skillum or a skate. So tell them, you know what, I'm looking for this. This is what I want to do. How can I do it? At church, they always tell me, if you want to negotiate, call Natalie. And I've sat down and I've said, what negotiating skills do I have? I don't have good negotiating skills according to myself. I just go there and I tell you, this is what I want. How can we make it happen? And then you tell me and I tell you. So to the young people out there, just tell people what you want. Tell people exactly what you want. Be very clear and precise with what you want. And also when you're going in to talk to people, be positive, be nice, smile. Everybody likes to smile. Go in with positive energy. Because if you go in like a damp rag, you're already exhausting people.
Yeah. Have you met many damp rags?
They're there.
They're there.
They're there. They're there.
So I love your story and also just your tenacity of, I'm not going to give up, right? Because you go in there expecting something good to happen. And I think what I'm hearing from you is, how about a generation that expects good things to happen, right? Because that expectation is anticipating that God is good, that He can go before you, that it's not just about your path, your past, or the reality that you see, but it's actually about what you're creating. And what I'm hearing from you is you go in and you create the opportunities. Have you ever felt like giving up though? Because Africa is not an easy place to live, let alone Southern Africa. Have you ever felt like giving up? What was your lowest point and how did you get over that?
No, I've never felt like giving up. And the reason for that is because there's always people around you in Zimbabwe that are doing well. So you ask yourself, why are the Bruno De Leos staying in Bulawayo? Why are the other people staying? There's something that I'm missing. I need to find it. And even still now today, I am always looking out and saying, what are they doing? What are they doing? You know, the way I can improve. Yeah.
Where do you think Bulawayo has underestimated itself as a city?
I think with its resources and its infrastructure. We've got the widest roads in Bulawayo. We've got the best infrastructure in Bulawayo. We've got infrastructure that's already here. And I think also investors haven't seen the beauty of Bulawayo people. They're very hardworking, very honest. And they're very accommodating, you know. And our infrastructure, we've got amazing infrastructure. If you go to the industries, we've got well-built factories. They've been abandoned for years, but they're still standing. You know, our roads are wide, they're good. And even the people are good in Bulawayo, you know.
And if you were to pull back out, like way from your life to looking at sort of Bulawayo from an eagle standpoint or from a bird's eye view, what story is Bulawayo telling itself right now? And what story should we be telling?
I think in all honesty, Bulawayo is on the rise. It definitely is on the rise. If you go into Belmont and Donington, you can see buildings being renovated. You can see people painting. And you can see like the trade fair. There's so many functions that happen now at trade fair. We've got Indaba, we've got Mine Intra, we've got trade fair. There's so many functions that are now happening in Bulawayo because of the infrastructure.
Yeah.
It's just possible.
Yeah.
It's just possible, you know.
And with that sort of emergence of a new story in Bulawayo, like you said, it's on the rise. If you got a young person who's going, okay, I have two options. One, I can go find a job in Europe, make a comfortable life. Or two, I can stay in Bulawayo and do something. What would you advise?
So
why Bulawayo?
So my first question that I asked them is that, what is a comfortable life? What is a comfortable life, you know? And why Bulawayo? Because we're closer to Botswana, we're closer to South Africa, we're closer to Zambia, so trade options are more, firstly. Secondly, because we're a very small town or city, we can get around and know more people and opportunities are more, you know. And and Bulawayo is definitely great.
What do you feel like God's plan is for this city in Matabeleland?
I don't really know what his plan is, but I think there's goodness here. I think what God wants us to do in Bulawayo is to maybe be aware of what we have here. You know, we've got the gold mines here. Lots of people are doing gold in Bulawayo. I think I'm not really sure how to answer that question. Yeah.
I think you did answer it though.
Oh, thank you.
Because even to say I don't actually know, still pose the question, I think, to every person here, to seek that answer, in their day-to-day life, to seek that answer in the stuff that they do with business, community, in church, because I think God gives us a choice too. And I think a question is, what are we choosing to create? What are we choosing to invest in? And what story are we choosing to tell? What story are you choosing to tell? What story is your family choosing to tell about what you see for the future here?
A positive one.
Yeah.
A positive one. My children both went to school in Matabeleland and they did both exceptionally well. And I've got my current business here and it's doing very well and it's growing. And so there's hope in Bulawayo. I think sometimes for me, Tommy, my point of view is that what story am I choosing to follow?
Yeah, that's good.
Which story am I choosing to follow? You know? So that's where I'm currently at right now, is that what do I want to follow? I don't want to go to Europe. I can go to Europe. But is that really a life? Yeah. You know? Bulawayo, the sun is nice. That's why it's cool skies.
I like that. What story are you choosing to follow? Because we can follow many stories, the negative stories, the the stories of just, political challenges. Or we can follow the story of, like you said, is we can show up, we can smile, we can look at an opportunity. And I think you do that really well. It's not to negate the fact that there are some serious challenges also in Bulawayo. So I'll ask this in a different way. What breaks your heart for Bulawayo? So where's your compassion when you see, man, I wish that we could see 1, 2, 3 happen? What breaks your heart for the city?
I think the thing that breaks my heart the most is how we can all just walk on the pavements now and see children lying there, just sleeping because they're high on drugs. That breaks my heart. And nobody's doing anything about it, including myself. Nobody's making an effort to solve that problem, of the children just sleeping on the floor. They're drunk because they've got nowhere to go to, nothing to do. So that's what really breaks my heart right now. Because at the end of the day, they are our brothers and sisters. Yeah.
What can we do about that?
Yeah. I think we have enough finances and we have enough facilities in Bulawayo to actually just pick them up and put them in somewhere and deal with them. We've done it. It's been done in Victoria Falls. Where people rallied together, businesses rallied together, and they looked after the children, put them in homes and helped them out.
Is it our responsibility to do that, or is
Yes.
it government's responsibility?
All of us. Maybe the government can reduce taxes for us that do it. I think it's everybody's responsibility, Tommy.
I do too.
But sometimes when you one out, you feel that you can't have a huge impact, But I think if there's many people, we can do something.
I think it is a we conversation. It's us.
Yes.
It can't be someone by themselves. I think it's an every person initiative to see the upliftment of people like that. When you hear about young people coming together from different backgrounds, cultures, churches in the city that are rallying together to tell a new story, to tell the stories that are actually positive, that are hopeful, and put their differences down, have the walls come down and actually unite. What does that do for you? Like, when you think about that, where does that take you?
It's very exciting. I get energized. And very hopeful that, because at my age, we're looking at the younger people now and we're expecting the younger people to make sure that the future is good for us. Yes, we can try what we can at our age, but we need the younger people to do what they need to do. So it's very exciting and it's encouraging even for us to invest more in the younger people. Because sometimes when you're at our age, you look at the young people and you don't want to invest in it because of their attitudes and their opinions. But when they're positive and they're everything else, you want to invest more in them,
Even with all their problems and challenges, a lot of the young people get a bad stigma that you're lazy or you have, maybe nothing to contribute or you're not mature enough. Why do you believe in the next generation?
I don't have a choice. I believe in them because I believe that the Spirit of God is in them. And I believe that, in Zimbabwe schools, you learn about God and you learn about Jesus, even though it's also mixed with other religions. And I believe even if it's just that one commandment or that one Bible verse or that one Christian song, it will do something. So I believe that the word is in them and Christ is in them. So there is hope as long as that is there.
Yeah.
Set to go. Yeah.
Such a good answer. I think more people need to hear the positive view of this next generation, because I think they not only are they our future, they are our today. They are our present. And
I think, Tommy, a lot of us parents, I've got two. My son is 21 and my daughter's 20. We misunderstand them. We so misunderstand them. We don't understand where they are at. We don't understand how to communicate with them. So that, I think, is a challenge that we are having now as parents, is we don't know how to communicate with these children. And we don't know how to encourage them. And we view their actions in a negative light because we don't understand it. Yeah.
Why do you think we don't understand?
Because we haven't realized that we are the problem. not them. We should make the effort to get to understand them. You know, we should make the effort to read up, to go and find information about how they think. Because how they're taught in school is different how we were taught. We were taught when the teacher says sit, you sit. Yeah. Even if there's no chair to sit on, you sit.
You find a place to...
You just sit. Whereas this generation will go and say, ma'am, there's no chair. You know, they're brought up differently to us, you know, and they're very vocal. And this generation, they feel a lot. Their feelings are very awake. Whereas our feelings are a little bit dumbed down because of the way we were brought up, you know.
Sure.
So I think we have to, as parents, understand this generation. Yeah.
I think we need a lot more people like you.
No, it's my church I go to. We reformers. Yeah. We are reformers. Yeah. So we are challenged constantly to be reformed.
Good. Well, I'm leaving this conversation with a little bit more inspiration for tomorrow.
Thank you.
And I think a lot of people would. If you were to say one more thing, anything to kind of wrap your story, to encourage anyone who's listening, whether it's old, young, but someone from, you know, this part of the world, what would you say?
I would say that God's commandment is love each other. Meaning that, so what I've come to learn, Tommy, in business is that God's most important asset is humans. Not the sky, not the trees, not the elephants, not the whales, not the turtles. God's most important asset is humans. So we must always remember that we are God's most important asset. He will make everything come right for us. And also when we're dealing with each other, let me remember that I'm dealing with God's most important asset. Like how you would be careful around somebody's Mercedes-Benz, you need to be careful around somebody else like that. You know, humans are God's most important asset. God cares more about humans than he does about the turtles.
And I think if we loved each other like that Mercedes, to be careful, to value, to not just scratch it up, I think we could see just tremendous change in the positive in this generation, in this next decade. So thank you. Thank you for championing it. It gives people like us excitement to know that you're here.
Thank you.
And it gives us meaning to what we're doing, because we're not doing this alone. There's people that have already gone before us. We're just here to champion you guys.